So you don't need a bunch of fancy equipment or a full-on production team to shoot your own content. And today, I'm gonna show you how you can get it done. What's up everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm 𝐒𝐨𝐢𝐚𝐥 and I make content that educates, entertains, or inspires. So welcome, come on in, have a seat. Take your shoes off, we'll be here for a few minutes. You see this thing right here that we just can't leave home without? It is probably the most expensive thing we carry with us every day, and we need to be using it as such, because not only is it expensive, but as a content creator, this is going to be the most valuable thing you have with you pretty much at all times. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I shoot my own photos by myself using only my iPhone. So first things first, you have to know what to pack. So for me, that is as simple as two things. Well, three if you count the actual iPhone. So the first thing that you're gonna wanna have is a flexi tripod. These are super cheap on Amazon and they're gonna come in handy because the legs of the tripod are flexible. But you're gonna wanna make sure you get one that is smartphone compatible and that has the smartphone holder here, because this is where you are going to actually attach your iPhone. And as you can see, it comes off and you can actually use this as a tripod for other cameras and devices. But you're gonna wanna make sure it has this piece because you're gonna screw that on and that's how you're gonna attach your iPhone to the flexi tripod. Now the next thing I like to pack with me when I'm going to self-shoot is a light stand. I prefer a light stand over a tripod, but you can use a tripod. It will be just as effective with the flexi tripod because you can tie it to that. But I like using a light stand because when you open it up, this part extends and it's easier to attach the flexi pod to this light stand and kind of screw it on and get it to bend and shape into whatever position you need it to be in. So a tripod works just as effectively, but a little hack for me is to use something that has one standing slender pole, and because this is adjustable, it can go high or low. It really comes in handy when I need to work those angles, which we'll get to later in the video. So I throw that in my tripod bag along with my flexi tripod and my cell phone, and then I'm off to shoot. So the next tip in self-shooting is that location is key. You're going to want to make sure you pick a location that gives you variety in terms of angles and in terms of scenery. So I recommend picking a spot that gives you at least 2 to 3 different backdrops for you to be able to shoot your photos. So I went with this brick wall and then this kind of green cafe style window scenery. For me, I was shooting lifestyle and Instagram content, so this was the good variety that I was looking for to be able to shoot a couple of different poses and different angles. The next tip is going to be to find the light, and that is in life and in photos. So you're going to want to make sure that you position yourself in front of the light. Whatever the subject is, which in this case is me and you, because we are self-shooting, you're going to want to make sure that the light beams on you. If you can feel it on your face, you are in the right place. For example, if I needed to shoot something in my bedroom, I'm going to choose the window because that's where I get the most light. So I'm going to stand directly in front of the window, and as you can see, that natural light pours in and you can see the subject, me, very well. You don't want to be backlit. You want to stand in the light. The subject should always be lit. Now, if you don't know what it means to be backlit, let me show you. This is what you don't want to do, which is stand away from the light. I, the subject, am now backlit because the sun and the natural light is behind me. And as you can see, you can't see me. So that is not going to be the shot that you want to get because I'm completely dark and you can't see the subject. So a simple standing in the light is going to really help you capture that high quality photo or video that you're shooting. The next tip is all about the setup. You're going to want to make sure you set up your FlexiPod and your tripod or light stand, whatever you're using to hold your Flexi tripod. You're going to want to make sure you set that up a reasonable distance from the subject. You don't want it to be too far away because you're going to need to go back and forth to be able to check the angles, check the lighting, and just make sure that you're getting good shots. That brings me to my next tip, which is to set a timer. Now, some people use remote accessories, which I am not opposed to, but for me, I prefer setting the timer because it gives me time to really get in position, and I actually like to walk back and forward to make sure that I'm getting the angles and hitting the shots that I like. For these reasons, I'm able to see how it's coming out, and it actually shortens my shoot time. When you have a self timer in your hand, you're kind of just going, and you're not really taking the time to see if you've captured the quality shot. But if you be more intentional about your shot with the timer, it's gonna shorten your shoot time. So in this shot, I have actually turned the POV to me so you can actually see what I see when self-shooting. So this is what it looks like when I set the timer. This is how I make sure I stand in the light, find my poses, and I allow the timer to count down, and then I snap the photo. So this is how it actually looks in real time as I'm shooting. This is what I see. The next tip is to work different angles. With the exception of an occasional yes girl from a stranger on the street,
now take your shot.
there isn't anyone there guiding you through and telling you what looks good and what doesn't. So therefore, you're going to have to do multiple angles so that you have a variety of content to choose from. Also, if we're putting in the effort to self-shoot, we're going to make sure we get the most out of what we're doing. So I recommend working different angles so that you can have multiple photos to repurpose on multiple different platforms across the .coms. So I set out with a goal to capture content that I can repurpose in multiple ways. So I wanted a variety of shots. So I have some selfies, I have some portrait style shots, I have some headshots, and I even have some full body kind of outfit of the day like shots. And with doing that, I made sure that I switched up my background. So I used this really cool brick wall, which was good for kind of like the edgy outfit of the day style photos. And then I used this really pretty green scenery as like my headshots and my selfies and portrait shots. So this is me walking up to the camera in real time, showing you guys how the photos are actually coming out as I shoot them. The camera is dying, but luckily that is a wrap, so it does not matter. That is how you shoot yourself. And this is the final product right here. This is how these shots came out. Not too bad if I do say so myself. So I'd say about 75% of my content is self-shot, and that's everything from, of course, YouTube videos to Instagram and social media content, as well as stock photos and content that I use for my website. Those are my tips for how to self-shoot using only your iPhone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and most importantly, I hope you learned something. And if you did, do me a favor and give me a big old thumbs up. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Like it, share it, leave a comment, because sharing is caring. And right now, I could use a little care. So, you know, thank you. Alright, that'll do it for this video. Listen, until we meet again, stay you, stay true. Was that lame? Whatever. Bye, y'all.